G'day, I'm Adrian, and this is my place. G'day everyone, welcome back to my place. Well, it's an interesting thumbnail and an unusual video title, I know, but it's actually going to be most likely proven to be rather apropos for this exercise. I'm going to take you through, look, just a little bit about this plant, where I've got it in the fish room, and of course I didn't bring it in, so it's obviously got here itself. But it's something that everyone has at some stage had to deal with. It's extremely hard to get out of one tank, let alone 100-ish, and ponds and everything else. So look, I'm going to give it a crack. There's a few. It's just a constant war. They're battles, and I'm never going to win this. There's no way that I can get duckweed out of my fish room. But I am actually going to go try really hard. I'm going to show you the best ways to clean some tanks up and the best times to do it. And yeah, we'll keep it pretty succinct today, hopefully. So anyway, go and get comfy, because I'm going to talk about duckweed for some reason. All right, let's go. Okay, so we are back in the fish room. Brutus is just, chilling, as he does. Ziggy's outside waiting for a ball to be thrown. But I thought I'd start off this video by showing you what a tank should look like without duckweed. So now, this video isn't sponsored by Nick from Keeping Fish Simple, but he does have some pretty cool merch that I've got. Luckily, he gave to me, and I'm even wearing the shirt. So if you can see that, hopefully that will focus in there. If not, I'll put it up. So if you're looking for some way to express yourself about your feelings for this plant, then that might be a good way to do it. So I have literally, I have had duckweed cover this. It has taken me, I think, I'm going to say 2 months for me to actually just keep picking it out every little bit, every little, dead part of that I see floating or stuck on something that's been dry forever, and then actually is just come back to life as soon as it's wet. So I'm really happy with this tank, especially because no duckweed. I like the way it's growing out the top. I do adjust this light to give these guys various sort of lights. You can see the dwarf hairgrass hasn't gone very well. I'm going to get some terrestrial blue grass. I actually just water it by doing this. Quite enjoy doing this. So what I'm going to do is get the blue terrestrial grass. It's about the same size, but it's obviously not aquatic, and I think it will grow better out of the tops of the tanks. But then I've got all of this. This is a dwarf Java fern, and the shrimp love it, as you can see, and I've finally been able to get it growing quite well. The Bucephalandra is doing great. It's just about to flower. And the Monte Carlo at the bottom, and all the crips are doing just awesome. Awesome. So anyway, that's how it should look, and this is how it shouldn't look. So I have got duckweed in so many places, it's not funny. Now these are full of guppies. If you've ever tried to catch guppies out, and they're just, I don't know, dozens and dozens of babies in there, with a net with duckweed. Yeah, it's just a nightmare. You see, I've got it over here. It's not something I enjoy because, of course, that then just takes the light away from these guys, which are, my dolphins. Now, the cories and the fish, they really don't mind. Medarkas don't like it too much, I don't think, because they do like to get to the surface and have some area, and duckweed will just completely take over. I've got none at all up here. That's because I don't know if the sorties or the rainbows, or I just haven't transferred anything. It's never gotten up there, but it has been in here before, and it has been eaten by these guys. So if you do have Africans, they'll eat it, as will goldfish, and I'll show you that outside. On top of this, this is I think these are the green jades, green emeralds, I should say, up here, cories. And I've got some pencil fishes, ditherfish above them, but you can see it doesn't look too bad from that angle. And I've got a couple of other tanks that are similar, which are these ones here. And again, the view from underneath, I don't mind, even mixed in with a red root floater, but that was originally mostly red root, if not all red root floater, and then the duckweed's taken over. You can see the duckweed's taken over here. There's one of my Borneo loaches out and about. They're very cool fish. Stay still, dude. There we go. So yeah, I had a pair in there. I can only see one at a time now. I'm guessing the other one is gone, but same from underneath. It's not a bad view, and I could put up with it on a few tanks, but it just goes nuts. And you can see I had nothing in here. Let's turn this light on. Same. It's just gone ballistic, unfortunately. I haven't turned this rack light on today, so I'll do that now. How you doing, Brutus? Where to start here? I mean, look at that. That is just driving me insane all the way through the 8-footer. Look at this. Can't even see any light pretty much under here for the Plex. Again, the Plex don't care, and it's probably doing a great job at filtration, but I'm over it. I've got this tank pretty much free of it, which is my Gadiads. And if you haven't watched that video, you can check out how I got these guys. I still think they're the best Gadiads I've ever seen. Certainly here in Australia, I'm talking, but very, very happy with the way these guys are going. And especially because there's no duckweed. This one, Plex, I mean, people talk about, duckweed won't live in high flow. Well, and I've got tons of allocinera in here, but you can see the duckweed, it doesn't care. Not much duckweed over here, although I've got this terrible, I think it's called bladder wart problem, which I'll have to get onto. And then I'll show you the tubs over here now. I'll just open this door again. So these ones along here. The frogbit does an okay job at keeping it down, but without frogbit, this just goes on. These tubs had 0 duckweed when I started. So I've got 24, oh no, these are the gold dust platties, where they are. They're ripping around in there. Got to get rid of them. There's some plants in that one too. These are my swords, just a mixed group of swords in there. 24 carrots and platinum blue guppies in there. So what that means is I've got to catch those fish out without one single piece of duckweed, so that I can actually then, when I set up the ponds out here, what? Oh, is this it here? Is this this one here? Oh, okay. Well, you better go chase it. So it's a beautiful day outside today. So I've tried really hard to keep the ponds as clean as possible from duckweed out here. No duckweed, but I've got bloody hair algae, which is, another one. I don't like that one. I don't hate anything really. I find hate as a wasted emotion, and it's kind of like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So I choose not to indulge in it. But geez, I get pretty close when it comes to duckweed and hair algae. All right, let's see if I can kick this. There we go. That wasn't a bad kick. So what I want to do is transfer the fish from the ponds back out there without duckweed into the bigger ponds in here. And that's, I don't know if it's going to be possible. I'm going to do my best to do it. But I've also discovered that the cane toads can get in here. How about that for disgusting? So they're obviously jumping from the rock in. I think I'm just going to put some type of netting system on there because I just don't want them and the frogs in there. So anyway, I guess that was a good exercise. But yeah, cane toads, something else I am not fond of, but I don't hate. All right, so where else have I found duckweed? I've also got it over here, but this is a different species of duckweed. And if I can zoom in on that one, you'll see it's larger. And this stuff actually goes red in the sunlight. So yeah, not happy with that one. I had no duckweed in here. Well, I say I had none, but of course I must have. So it's starting to make its way in here, and I have the double whammy of hair algae in here. But surprisingly, this is the tub that's doing the best with for my medacas. The orange rice fish are in here, and I've got quite a few babies, even though I can't see any at the moment. But I have seen them in here previously, and I would say, probably more than a dozen in there. So I'll feed that a bit later. There's one over there. You can see him down there, maybe. Over against the tub, perhaps. I can't see that far out. Okay. So, oh, what a surprise. What do you want? What was it that you wanted? Go on then. I know this is duckweed video, but don't they look good? My little cactus bonsai, and the desert rose is starting to flower, which I adore. So they love the heat, these guys. I want this one to come on. It's a little bit slow. This one's kicking off as well. I've grown tons and tons of these guys, the red Chinese lotus, and I know that when they're, if you keep them, doing zig, you stay away from those, dude. I fixed them up yesterday. This one will be Corys. Okay, so these things underwater, if you keep the leaves trimmed, then they'll stay red, and then if you let them grow to the top, they'll be green. Now, one thing that I have never, actually haven't seen on YouTube before, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, is whether or not someone has managed to get these things to flower in an aquarium. So, to my delight, surprise, this happened. If I get away from the flash. But yeah, that is a flower, and a little bit of support as it was coming out there yesterday. As you can see, there's a little bit of what is just cable tie earlier in it. Sorry, I'll have to come back here and have a better look. You'll see it from here. So yeah, geez, that drives me insane, it does. But I've never actually had it flower in a tank before. Now I'm just using, that's just a LED spotlight, which is why, actually if I turn that off, jeez, look at that. What are you doing, boy? Yeah, you're not getting that out, thank you. It's probably a bit better, see if I can get some colour on it now. So, there you go. So I think it's pretty much white, and it's got a beautiful yellow stamen maybe in there for the pollen. And see if I can just tilt it over a little and break it. So I thought that was really cool. Never before have I been able to achieve that, and now I can add that to the list of things that I've grown. Let's see if we can go underwater. I'll turn that light back on now so we can follow it back down. It's that big one there, I'm guessing. I know I'm probably spending far too much time on this, and it's probably something lots of people have done, but for me, it's certainly been the highlight of my week. Okay, I better get back into it. Pretty much if I leave a bucket with any water or plants in it from anywhere at any time, I have duckweed, including the buckets that I just have sitting outside randomly. So if it's a body of water, it will contain duckweed of sorts. These poor things need to be chucked away, so I'm surprised my dad hasn't done that. He doesn't usually let me leave stuff like that around everywhere. What do you reckon, Brutus? Yeah, I know. You don't care about duckweed either. Well, I guess that is the age-old question, isn't it? So how I'm going to get these guys out of here, I really don't know. I'm just going to have to do my best, and then I'll show you a way that I try to separate any fish that I do catch up out of the mess in the bucket that I've got, so I can catch them up later and add them to their friends. So what I'm going to do is firstly pull this plant out. Now you can see if I'm going to transplant this somewhere, like, yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be washed and quarantined, etc. So it's just going to go straight into a bucket, hopefully without transferring it to anywhere else. Now, there's a couple of techniques that you can use, essentially nuking the tub, but at the same time taking as much care as I can not to catch the fish up as we go. So you can use a tub like this and just scrape it over the top. You'll see I get my hand in there. Usually I can feel a fish if there's any in there, and I'll just scrape. And I've found this to be the most effective. I would then take that and tip it into something like this. Now I'll give this to a goldfish, which I'll talk about a bit later, I'm sure. So as you can see, the guppies tend to come to the top as soon as you make a space. So once again, I just hold the jug slightly beneath the water so the surface tension just draws it in, and then I will scrape. You can see almost like a mat of duckweed to go through there, and then just keep on repeating that over and over, hopefully without getting any fish. And you can sort of bring it together as well, and then again just enough depth beneath the surface tension of the water, and keep on dragging it out. The aim is to get as little or as few fish in here as possible throughout this whole exercise. Now I know I've got one there, so I just abandon that one and use it to scrape around the edges too. As you can see, I think I've done a reasonable job getting that off of there with just that takeaway container. I find it's probably the most useful tool in tubs and larger tanks as well. So what I do now is work out, have I got any fish in there? So with a bucket, it's extremely difficult, obviously. You're not going to be able to see what's in there unless it's not very thick and they're at the top. So what I find though is if you move the water around, whatever fish are in there are going to go to the bottom. This is if you don't use a clear jug. I actually prefer to use a clear jug, but there's no point showing you that until I show you how to fix this. So what I do there is quite simply find my frickin' net. So I would usually just stir the water like this. Everything will go to the bottom, and then I would just rip this around at the top, just enough so I can actually get a view and see if there's anything in there. And I'd keep doing that. In fact, I'm just going to put this in there. You'll see why I don't like to use nets, because you never get it off. So keep gathering up all this sort of stuff. The theory is there'll be no fish up the top because they're scared of the net. This is my patented technique of removing duckweed, my bucket. Okay, now if there is anything in there, I would usually be able to spot it swimming around. So I'm going to suggest there's not. What's that noise? Okay, found it. I thought it was maybe a dragonfly flapping its wings against the window, but it was just a cicada. So they're starting to come out now. These guys are pretty cool. Come on, little fella. Stay a bit still so I can get a good shot of you. Alright, I might put you in a tree somewhere because I think either the dogs or the cats will get you otherwise. So how about we put you over here? In fact, just up there would be perfect camouflage for you. Off you go. So what I did was just tip the bucket of water into a clear container because this is my preferred option if I'm dealing with a duckweed infested tank, because not only do I get the duckweed, but I get to see what's in here, especially if there's shrimp in the tank. That's something that I find really difficult to deal with sometimes. So anyway, we can see that there's a fish in there. So for me, I'll just catch him out of there now. I'll probably catch up a few of these other ones because I want to put them outside in the tubs. I'm not sure if I'll film that or I'll do an update next week. I've got so much to do just to get through today so I can get this video out, and then that means I can use next weekend to get another one. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing to this tank or tub, and I'd really like to put these guys, which are the koi, in where the blue Medaka rice fish are, which is over here. Yes, mate, of course. So what I was saying before is it's got hair algae. Now, what I'm a little bit reluctant to do is put the koi straight in here. Oh, check out how nice he is. That little, oh, he went over there. Check out the stripe on that dude if I can get across him. He's got a black stripe right down the center. He's a nice looking one. So these guys have only bred in here for me a couple of times. I've actually put in some spawning mops, but as yet I haven't found any eggs. Look at the hair algae on that. That drives me insane. So I think what I'll do, what I'd prefer to do is to leave this, take these adults out and then leave this for a couple of weeks to see if there's any babies, but I'm rather impulsive today. I don't know, I would really like to add the those koi in there. So anyway, koi guppies. All right. So what I'll do is I think I'll, where's your ball? Where is your ball? Oh, it's over here. You put it over here. I think what I'll do is throw the ball for a couple of minutes and think about it. So the next question is what to do with the duckweed once you've gone to the trouble of getting it out. What I do is kick a ball and then put it in with my goldfish, which love it. Being careful not to leave too much on there. So these guys will just go through and smash that. So one of the other ways that's ideal if you only have a tank or two and you've got fish that are acceptable with goldfish is put a few goldfish in. Just put one goldfish in. He'll clean the tank completely. And one of the only ways you can ensure that you don't get duckweed coming back. And if you have a small goldfish, you can move around from tank to tank. He'll actually enjoy being moved around and eating the duckweed. So, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I'll kick the ball. Left footer. Okay, so now if you have chickens, these guys quite enjoy eating this stuff. So what I'm going to try to show you now is my preferred method of removal. If I move this camera too much, the lights start to flicker because they're LEDs, but you'll see I've taken the overflow out of here. Some of my system is straight out to the drain or straight through into the sump, and the sump has a sock filter on it, so that sock filter will catch anything that overflows. Now this has got a little bit of duckweed in it because, let me get rid of that LED there for a minute. This is the shrimp tank, and I do tend to get to this as often as I can because it's way easier. Sorry, lights. So what I'm going to do is turn the water on, which comes in through this valve here and out into here as it overflows. I'm just going to keep pushing the pennywort down and keep on sort of pushing the duckweed towards the outlet. Now in doing that, in theory, the shrimp will go to the bottom. Is there a chance some have gone through? Yep. But this all goes to 2 big IBC containers out the back, which is covered in algae. So if there are shrimp, they will actually survive. Okay, I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so it's gone up alright, not perfect, but you can see there's no obvious sort of stuff floating around in there. A couple of bits at the end, which I usually would grab a net like that and just whip those guys out. And at the same time, obviously doing that as it gets rid of the duckweed, I get to do a water change. So I actually get a bit more. I get to do a water change on this tank, and you can see the shrimp. They love it. I move it around so I can get some more like that red tiger lotus. Doesn't get a whole heap of light, but it seems to do pretty well in there. Needs a bit of a clean up, this tank. I need to do a glass clean, but I'm pretty happy with it. Check out that shrimp there when you move stuff around, what the shrimp do. I've actually seen them come right up onto that moss there. So, yeah, if you haven't got shrimp, they're just a fascinating little creature to keep. Okie doke. I will get back into it. Okay, so one of the things I find whilst kicking the ball is I've got to get rid of the duckweed on here. And what I think happens is people don't really think about it too much, do a half-assed job like I do sometimes, and then that's how it transfers. So washing, yep, great, but I find the best way is to take it outside or somewhere, and I actually just give it a tap like so. Now, probably not best to do it on the concrete because it damages the edges, but check that out. It actually gets rid of all of that. What do you reckon, Zeke? Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I forgot. So yeah, that's just a little tip. I find that and then go and wash your net. Similarly with this one, it's not going to bash out, but I do it on the edge of something. And then I flip it. Whoop, sorry about that. Flip it inside out. And if I need to, one more time. You can rinse them first and come out. And then if you really want to be pedantic about it, is leave them out in the sun and dry any up whilst you're throwing a ball. Okay. Okay, so if you're going to go the effort of cleaning your nets and everything properly, the other thing is, and this is another one of blatant Nick merch example. So what I've got here is, I've got various towels obviously, but instead of wiping my hands off every time I go into a tank, the thing is if you leave any of this on here, then you're screwed. Same as the cup and same as your bench. So what I do, and yes, I remove that with my non-duckweeded hand, is basically every single time my hand's in a tank with duckweed, I give it a thorough rinse. All the utensils, the same stuff, inside and out. Don't leave a single piece on. If it starts to dry like that, you think it's dead. It's not. You get stuck on your sponges and sponge filters if you don't get into them. I like to just throw them out in the sun. Good way to kill it. But even if it dries out, it will come back if you're not careful. See, there's a bit on there. You have to be so careful with this stuff. And one tank, 2 tanks, yeah, you probably can be, but with me, it's just, if you look at all that, that's still in there. So if I were to just use that in the tank without duckweed, then I just have transferred it over. All right, I think that's it, but that's going out in the sun. Now this, I actually will just give it a scrub down the whole lot because I don't want any of it in here. Rinse it all off and get my tub back to clean. Okay, so that's Sunday sort of done, but I thought before we went into the outro, I would just actually show you around the fish room and what I've got done today. I had my mate pop over. We had a couple of beers, which was nice. Not too much, if any at all, really, other than a little bit of cleaning on the side. I did get some more duckweed out of these guys, but as I've said previously, this is going to be a video in and of itself. I'm going to try to do those 6 tanks in one weekend, and I think I can. 8-footer, needs a water change. Okay, so I managed to get these tubs off the floor while we were standing around, or sitting around, standing around, talking. So I've gotten rid of the 2 tubs that were there. I had koi guppies there and the tricolored Dumbo. So these are the tanks, or the tubs that I should say, that they're in now. Back inside the fish room again, what I've done is I have actually, before I show you them where they are, I should show you where they were. Look at this. I cannot tell you how happy I am to have that tub off the floor. It's just like so much better down here, because I do so much down here, and it is very tight. Like, you know, there's my elbow there and my elbow there. It's a tight squeeze. So when the Solosi tank comes in from the foyer, I'm going to remove these tanks here, so I'll have at least a better walkway. And you know, I can actually now step back a little bit and see these guys. I don't know if I've shown them for a while on the actual YouTube channel, but check them out waiting for food. I do love these guys, this tank in particular. One of my faves, the Denison Barbs. I've got 8 of them, I think. 8 or 9, they're still all doing well. No more have jumped out or passed, which is good. So yeah, that gives me more room here. Same with these guys, Mickey Mouse Platties. I got lots of comments about these guys. They are spectacular little fish. I am trying to breed them again. I've actually had bred them again. I'm just trying to actually get the numbers up. You'll see over here. So I think what happens, if I don't feed them twice a day, they eat their babies. So you might even catch out. There's a little bubby down there. There's a few more around as well, but I've decided that I would start feeding the tank twice, and that's actually worked out really well for me. So I'm getting fry like this little dude here. Just focus, come on. There we go. So yeah, he's been there for a while and starting to colour up. So there's a few of those around. At least I'm getting them. I should probably try to catch up, you know, some of these girls that are pregnant, and even just drop them into those little in-tank fry capture systems. So anyway, we'll get to that. The other update is I did buy some grow lights for bonsai in this tank. I moved a few of the rocks around and bits and pieces. I changed I just cleaned the sponge filter the other day, but it's looking pretty good. I'm really happy actually, sort of with the new layout there. I'm still really happy with the choice of the kois in there. Got some orange shrimp. They've been brooding really well in here, which is great. Everything seems to be kicking on better. The lights have only been on for 2 days, but from what I can see, they seem to be enjoying it. The waterfall's running nicely, both of them. Quite happy with the way I've got the log in there at the moment too. So little angel babies, look, they're almost looking like angels. They are looking like angels. So we'll see how they turn out. Funny, from a leopard and a koi angel, I've got a striped one in there, but anyway, I will love them nonetheless. Going to move these around. These guys will probably go during the week up to here, which is another tub off the floor. I've just got this space, which is really just so cool for me to be able to get around, and of course that's a bit tight through here, especially with the pothos taking up all the room, so I've got to get into that. But I'm getting back to a position that I'm happy enough to sort of maintain it, and then all I want to do is sell this gym and then fill this full of tanks. And again, Mrs. Fisher doesn't watch this, so I can say what I liked. Okay, these tubs are next on the agenda, and that'll be another video. So that's probably it from the fish room, I'm thinking, at this stage, because it's yeah, it's dark. Okay, well, that's the duckweed video. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. It was probably nothing like you expected as far as the duckweed video is concerned. I'm just going to pop the boy up here. Have a look up there, man. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was very cool and quite fun to shoot this video. I'm going to try to get the tubs outside next week. Hopefully that works as well. I've got so many videos that I've thought of that I just actually like to shoot, and I could probably spend all day, every day in here doing it if I wanted to. So if I could, I would. So that's it. Again, if you would like, subscribe. That really helps me out. We appreciate it so much, don't we, boy? Yeah, he really does. So again, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Thank you so much. I will catch you next time. Thank you. Bye bye for now. A thumbnail, I know, and topic for well, I guess that's the odd job. If you were to use a container of sorts, hello Brutus, what are you doing? Yeah, you know I'm filming, don't you? Dude, you're gonna knock the camera over. Dude, come on. I'm filming. Come on, mate, move. Go and sit in your bed. Hop in your bed. Go on. Hop in your bed. You good to go? Haven't done this for a while, have we? You ready? Dude, what are you doing? You ready?